Have you ever watched a jazz duo perform? Not a rehearsed performance, a genuine improvisation. Two musicians who know each other deeply, reading one another in real time. One plays a phrase, the other catches it, transforms it, and adds something unexpected. The first smiles, surprised and delighted, and responds. Neither is following a script, neither is always leading. They are creating something rarer and more beautiful than either could do alone. They are working together genuinely, creatively, and generously. That is the image I want us to keep in mind throughout this audiobook. Not a couple who perform love through a fixed routine, but a couple who improvises, who listens, responds, surprises, and is surprised, who creates something in real time that neither could have predicted or made on their own. This is what creative collaboration in a relationship looks like, and it is one of the most deeply fulfilling experiences two human beings can share. Welcome. Over the next 10 minutes, we will explore what it truly means to be a collaborative partnership, not just in the romantic sense, but in the most comprehensive, practical, and meaningful way. We will discuss what helps collaboration succeed, what causes it to fail, and three laws that can assist you and your partner in building a creative partnership that becomes richer with each year. Let's get started. The structure of a true partnership. The word partner is used so casually that we sometimes forget its true meaning. A partner is not just a roommate or someone who shares your postcode and last name, nor is it merely a co-parent by logistics. A true partner is someone you are actively and dynamically building a future with. Someone whose strengths fill in your gaps. Someone who offers a perspective that broadens your own. In a truly collaborative partnership, both individuals show up whole, not merged whole, each with their own set of strengths, their own way of thinking, and their own creative energy. When those two whole people come together around a shared purpose, something becomes possible that is genuinely greater than the sum of its parts. The strongest creative partnerships aren't based on similarity. They are based on complementarity. Two people whose differences, instead of causing friction, generate growth. Think about the dynamics in your own relationship. Where does your partner see things you miss? Where do they bring energy you currently lack? Where do your different strengths, in practice, make the two of you more capable together than either of you is separately? This isn't just an idea. In a healthy creative partnership, you can feel it. There's a natural ease when you collaborate on something meaningful, a flow, almost where the line between your ideas blurs, and something new appears that neither of you can claim entirely. That feeling isn't accidental. It's the result of trust, mutual respect, and the unique creative chemistry that only exists between you two. And it's something you can intentionally cultivate consistently throughout the entire course of your shared life. That cultivation is what this audiobook is about. When collaboration falls apart, let's be honest about what's preventing us from moving forward. Because every collaborative partnership, no matter how skilled or deeply loving, experiences periods of disruption. And for many couples, the breakdown of collaboration happens so slowly that they don't notice it until they're standing in the ruins of what once felt effortless, questioning how they got there. It usually starts with something small, a closed door, not a physical one, but an emotional one. One partner stops sharing ideas because they already expect the response. The other stops asking questions because they assume they already know the answers. Communication becomes functional, transactional. You talk about schedules, logistics, and whose turn it is, and somehow, without meaning to, you stop discussing what truly matters. Then comes the self-conflict. You know something needs to be said, but you hold it back. You know something needs to change, but you wait. You want more from the partnership, but instead of reaching for it, you quietly pull away. And your partner, sensing the withdrawal without understanding why, pulls back too, two people, each holding their closed energy, each waiting for the other to open first. The tragedy isn't that couples stop loving each other. It's that they cease reaching out to each other and both mistake the distance for proof that something is broken, when in fact, it's simply asking to be bridged. Disagreement in itself is not the enemy of collaboration. In fact, when managed well, creative disagreement can be one of the most productive forces a partnership has. The best ideas rarely result from easy consensus. Instead, they arise from friction that is thoughtfully engaged from two people willing to hold their different perspectives in the same conversation long enough for something new to emerge. The enemy of collaboration isn't disagreement, it's dismissal. When you stop genuinely curious about your partner's perspective and begin to see their words through the filter of, I already know what they mean, the jazz duo ceases improvising and starts playing over each other. As a result, the music turns into noise. The three laws of creative collaboration. Now I want to share three laws, not rules from outside, but principles that reside in the core of every successful creative partnership. When these laws are honored, collaboration becomes not just possible, but natural. When they are neglected, even the most talented, loving couples end up working in parallel rather than together. The first law: responsibility show up as your whole self. Here's a counterintuitive truth. You can't be a good collaborator if you've lost yourself in the process. The most common mistake well-meaning partners make is this. They give so much of themselves to the relationship to their partner's needs, dreams, and well-being that they start to disappear. Gradually, their own needs go unspoken. Their boundaries quietly shift. Their internal conflicts remain unresolved because there isn't enough time or it doesn't feel safe to address them. And then one day, both partners realize why the collaboration feels empty. Why does the connection seem weak? Why are they technically working on everything together, but still feel completely alone? The answer is almost always the same. One or both partners stop bringing their whole selves to the partnership. You can't truly collaborate with just a part. The law of responsibility encourages you to carefully tend to your inner world not as a luxury, but as a necessity for meaningful partnership. It urges you to achieve balance within yourself before seeking it with someone else, to work through your own internal conflicts instead of bringing them into your relationship, to understand what you need and to communicate it directly rather than hoping your partner will sense it and feeling resentful when they don't. Taking care of yourself is not a retreat from your partner. Saying no when you have nothing left to give isn't selfish, it's about sustainability. The most generous thing you can do for your relationship is to be someone your partner can truly work with, whole, present, honest about where you are and what you need. A depleted partner cannot give their best. A dissolved partner has nothing unique to contribute. The relationship needs you whole, not sacrificed. Show up as yourself, and the collaboration has something real to build on. The second law: honesty building trust through integrity. Every genuinely creative collaboration rests on a foundation of trust. And trust, at its core, is built from one thing: the consistent experience of honesty. Honesty is not about bluntness. There's nothing creative in using the truth as a weapon. Instead, honesty is about transparency. It's the willingness to let your partner see what is truly happening inside you, even when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or when you're unsure how they will respond. Dishonesty in a partnership, even the small, well-meaning kind, is corrosive. The white lie to avoid a tough conversation. The feeling hidden beneath a convenient, I'm fine. The need goes unspoken because you tell yourself it doesn't matter, even though it matters greatly. Each of these small secrets adds a brick to a wall, and walls, once built, require much more effort to tear down than it took to build. The law of integrity teaches us that deceiving a partner also means deceiving ourselves. When we hide something like a feeling, a need, or a truth, we carry the burden of that secret everywhere. It affects how we show up. It creates a subtle distance, a guardedness that our partner can sense even if they can't put it into words. Over time, the relationship starts to feel more like a performance than a genuine collaboration. The antidote isn't a dramatic confession, it's the daily practice of small honesty, sharing feelings before they become grievances, naming needs before they turn into demands, expressing the truth before it hardens into resentment. This kind of honesty requires courage, yes, but it also takes skill, the skill of speaking truthfully without blame, of being direct without cruelty, of starting a conversation that might be uncomfortable because you value the relationship more than your temporary comfort. Honesty is more than just a moral value, it's also a creative one. The most remarkable partnerships are those where both people trust that everything they contribute, including doubts, failures, and unfinished ideas, will be received with compassion rather than judgment. When that trust is present, everything opens up. The creativity that fear kept hidden behind a careful facade finally gains permission to step outside, and the collaboration becomes something neither partner could have envisioned alone. The third law: choice crafting your partnership each day. Here is perhaps the most empowering truth in this entire audiobook. Your partnership is not something that happens to you, it is something you create. Every day, in every interaction, you make choices about the kind of creative collaboration you're fostering, the tone you select in a tense moment, the question you ask instead of the assumption you hold, the moment you turn toward your partner instead of your phone, work, or private space, the intentional decision to try something new together rather than sticking with the comfortable and familiar. The law of choice states that your current relationship is largely the result of the choices you've already made. This isn't an accusation, it's an opportunity because it means that different, consistent choices starting today can lead to a different relationship. Not instantly or by magic, but genuinely and measurably over time. Choose to communicate before small issues become big problems. Choose to express your gratitude specifically and frequently, not just a general, "you're great," but a specific, "I noticed what you did this morning, and it moved me." Choose to be curious about your partner as a still evolving, still surprising person, rather than someone you already fully know. Choose to spend your shared time on experiences that renew you, both new, adventurous, quiet, or meaningful moments that remind you why you chose each other. And choose, above all, to keep the lines of creative communication open. Make space regularly for conversations that aren't about logistics. The kind of conversation where you ask, "What are you dreaming about right now? What is exciting you? What is weighing on you? What do you wish I understood about you that I might be missing?" These conversations are the rehearsal room of your creative partnership. This is where the music gets made before it goes on stage. Your relationship isn't something you maintain, it's a living thing you create together deliberately and actively each day. The most beautiful partnerships aren't the ones that happen effortlessly. They're the ones you choose again and again with intention, reflection, questions for the journey. 3 questions to carry with you, not to answer in a hurry, but to let settle, to return to explore together when the moment feels right. First, what is one specific way you could support your partner more fully right now? Not in general, in practice. What do they need from you this week that you haven't yet offered? And what do you need from them that you haven't yet asked for? Those 2 questions, answered honestly and shared openly, can start a conversation that makes a difference. Second, when do you and your partner do your best work together? What are the conditions, such as the time of day, your mood, the type of task, and the quality of your connection that seem to unlock your collaboration? And how might you intentionally create more of those conditions instead of leaving them to chance? And third, in your partnership, where might you currently be giving too much at the expense of yourself? And where might you be giving too little at the expense of the relationship? Finding that balance is not a one-time achievement. It is an ongoing, evolving conversation between two people who are both committed to showing up whole. The jazz duo comes to mind. What makes them extraordinary isn't that they never miss a note. It's that when one of them does, the other keeps playing. They listen more closely, lean in, find the thread again. They trust each other enough to be imperfect in real time. They understand that the music they create together is more valuable than the safety of never taking a risk. That is what a creative collaboration between two people who love each other can be. Not the performance of a perfect relationship, but the living, breathing, sometimes surprising, always evolving music of two real people choosing each other, listening to each other, building together, day after day after day. Show up fully, be honest, make deliberate choices, and keep playing together.